shooting straight from the hip. And I really just hate that term, because when you shooting from the hip, that's still sideways communication. I need you to shoot straight from your heart space. Tell me how you feel direct from your heart space. And I just don't know anymore what it takes for two people to be comfortable communicating even when it's uncomfortable, because it just don't matter sometimes how much you can tell a person, tell me how you feel, I really just want to understand you, or this is a space where even if it don't, like, you can't worry about how I'm gonna feel, I just want to understand you. It don't matter how much you tell the person that, because they still got to be okay feeling uncomfortable in the conversation. And at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't. And like I was saying earlier about the guy that I dated earlier this year, he was uncomfortable with communicating. But also, it's hard even for me to take accountability sometimes in that situation. And I go over it in my head all the time, because I really wish we could have had a real conversation about it. But it's hard for me to try to figure out my role in it, because at the end of the day, I didn't really realize it until later, but he just wasn't transparent about some of the things he still had going on. So when I came with my questions, there was no safe space without it being something, because he wasn't willing to be transparent. And whatever, um, I do take accountability for not leaving it alone. But like I said, if you don't try, you don't care. And I knew that if I just dipped, he just would have let me. And I didn't really want to do that either. But in the way that things were going, when it came to the things that I needed, I wasn't getting that. And not to diminish him as a person, because he was really a great guy. And if, yeah, he was really a great guy. That's really all I can say. And um, I don't regret meeting him. Like, I never experienced that feeling before. It wasn't necessarily anything that he was doing. He treated me good. He was respectful. He was a gentleman. He wasn't, it wasn't like all about sex. It wasn't. He was a nice guy. But that communication piece, that vulnerability piece, that emotionally available, emotionally mature, we didn't really have that. We didn't have it. Um, Vulnerability was a thing for him, and communication was a thing, but being emotionally available, I don't think was something he didn't have, but he didn't have that for me. And yeah, that's just that. And I, there's a part of me that resent that connection, actually, because people always be like, oh, it's better to have loved and lost than to have ever, to have never loved at all. And I think that's stupid as fuck. While a feeling of love, and I wasn't in love, let me say that, but just a feel, I can't even explain that, because it wasn't butterflies. It was like just something deep, deep down. Like our first date, I was already ready to pick out rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a feeling like and almost like a reverence, right? And I never experienced that. So I really tried. And shit, I don't feel like he did. And that's okay too. I feel like my feelings were too much. And I only feel like things be too much when it's not mutual. And it wasn't mutual at the end of the day. And while I, can accept that, I just feel like I could have done without that experience all the way around, because for what? Like, granted, I never knew such a feeling could exist. But now I want it back. And that's stupid. I didn't you know what I'm saying? And while I want that feeling back, I don't want it back by any means necessary though. And I'm not willing to tiptoe around somebody else's feelings at the expense of my own. And especially because it always be in vain anyway. The other person never really see how hard you really tried, because all they know is how they feel. And if they were just as concerned about how you felt as you were concerned about how they felt, then it would be easier, to come to a common ground. But when people are still only operating out of their own, survival, and not operating out of the mindset of trying to build something, then this is what you get. And yeah, there's that.